Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. I'm hated. It's got to be what Terence Crawford is saying to himself. I'm hated. Why do these people hate me? What have I done that was so horrible that even after such a huge win against Errol Spence, I still can't get the fights I want. I still can't get the respect I deserve. Everyone's career seems to be about to start bubbling up again, and I'm still here in a holding pattern, looking crazy in Nebraska with a fishing pole in my hand. Now, in case you didn't know, look, we all know that the whole world wants to see Terence Crawford and Boots in this fight. I just think the anticipation to that fight is going to reach a point to where Terence Crawford may end up having to fight Boots. Because anyone you talk to when it comes to Terence Crawford, it's Boots, Boots, Boots. There's such a demand for that fight now that, damn, content creators, right? This just shows you how these people will do and say anything. Now they're saying Terence Crawford putting duck sauce on the fried rice. He's taking it to the stupid. He's afraid to fight Boots. Now, this is my thing. If you say, okay, look, Hood, Boots wants to fight him. He doesn't want to fight Boots. Is that a correct statement? I would say, yeah, that's accurate. They're like, okay, so when a fighter doesn't want to fight somebody, do a lot of people call that ducking? And I would have to say, yes, a lot of people say that. And they will say, you know what? Well, then that means Terence Crawford is ducking Boots Dennis. Would you agree? And I'd have to say, no, I don't agree. A duck is someone intentionally trying to avoid someone, and I would think out of fear of losing. And with Terence Crawford, I don't think he's intentionally trying to duck Boots because he fears losing. I think he's intentionally trying to avoid that fight because he's looking for a bigger purses. Now, what I will tell you is, I do think that if the Saudis were to get involved and say, hey, look, for this fight, maybe, hey, Boots, we'll give you $5 million, Crawford will give you $30, $40 million. You know what I'm saying? I think Crawford would take that fight in a heartbeat. Now, if he turns a fight like that down, well, then you can say, and I would say, that Terence Crawford is putting duck sauce on the fried rice. No doubt. And I would also say that fishing pole he has in his hand, you might as well get you a couple more because you don't need to be boxing anymore if you are here running from, another, huge payday. But that's not what comes with Boots Dennis, people. Hell, even you all know that. So stop taking it to the stupid. Now, there's a lot of little news, man, that's surfacing, floating around here on the internet with all these cockahole bandwagonist content creators who will say anything, right? Canelo's fighting Errol Spence. Look, I said that shit a long time ago, that when Canelo was coming over to PBC, that Errol Spence was going to be one of the fights they wanted to make. Even before that, years and years of people talking about Errol Spence and how he could go up to Canelo and fight Canelo. He's such a big guy. He's such a strong guy. He could easily fight Canelo at 168. Errol Spence saying how he could fight him at 168. Errol Spence thinking he'll beat Canelo. Now, let's be honest now. Errol Spence today, Terence Crawford today, who do you give a better chance of getting in the ring with Canelo and getting a victory? Or at least putting up a hell of a fight? If you say Errol Spence, go jump off a bridge and swim with the crocodiles. Man-eating crocodiles of the Amazon. Because you're just taking it to the stupid, man. Now, is it possible that Canelo fights Errol Spence? Of course it's possible. Matter of fact, I don't even think it was a month and a half ago, I said in a video, don't be surprised if Canelo fights Errol Spence. See, this is the thing that people need to realize. The same way you got Crawford out here talking about, damn, I'm hated. Why they hating me? Why can't I get the big fights? The same way people saying to themselves, Crawford should fight Boots. Crawford's putting duck sauce on the fried rice. For you Canelo fans, y'all ain't realize that Canelo putting duck sauce on the carne asada? Carne asada. Y'all ain't realizing that? What Canelo is doing is what Crawford wants to do. Fight, known fighters, but for huge money with the least amount of risk. Canelo got a little bit ahead of himself and went up there after Bivol, and he got the goddamn Russian Bing Bing put on his ass. And it helped him put things back in perspective. Where Canelo is now like, okay, let me just keep coming out here, fighting these guys with big names from lower weight classes, and where it's more likely that I win the fight and I make huge money. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo, like I said in another video, called Vic Darchinyan looked after Nonito Donaire. Matter of fact, Nonito Donaire is looking like a real good opponent for Canelo as his next fight if it's not Earl Spence like some are speculating. So why is it okay for Canelo to do it? Because Canelo really, right? Y'all hating on Terence Crawford. He should fight Boots. I believe that would be a good fight. The pressure's on. Just like Canelo should fight Benavidez. But I still think he's fighting Benavidez. I know this thing about Earl Spence is floating around. I wouldn't be surprised if he fights Earl Spence, but I just have a feeling he's fighting Benavidez. I do. Because I think if Earl Spence had the Canelo fight, I think Earl Spence would say something. But at the same time, I think if Earl Spence came to his dad and said, hey, I got offered a Canelo fight, I think his dad, his dad's Jamaican, I'm not Jamaican, my parents aren't Jamaican, man. My family is, the Trinidadians, Trinidad and Tobago culture, right? Man, I can't see no West Indian father who knows his son almost got killed in his last fight, almost got killed in a car accident. The second car accident, they really didn't say much about it, so he probably got fucked up in that car accident too, right? Because they didn't really say much about it. And I'm sure his dad knows physically what his son can and can't do anymore when it comes to the sport of boxing. I can't see his dad being okay as a Jamaican father, right? To send his son in there to fight a killer like Canelo, knowing his son is already handicapped. I just don't see that. I know the money is good and all that, but they're set. Spence got dough. I mean, you just never know. But I just don't think Earl Spence is the next fight for Canelo. But one thing we know for a fact that it ain't Earl Spence, it ain't Terence Crawford, according to Canelo. But who knows? That may be the smoke screen. You know what I'm saying? To get everybody out here like, damn, he ain't fighting Crawford. Then you find out he's fighting Crawford, and everybody out here looking crazy. But I personally think it's David Benavidez. That's just my opinion. But I could be wrong. But that being said, Terence Crawford, it sucks because it looks like Boots Ennis is fighting Cody Crowley. People out there saying, why would they put Boots in with Cody Crowley? This is a travesty. Well, because Boots is the IBF champion, the number 1 and 2 under the IBF are vacant. Then there's Cody Crowley at number 3. Okay, so that's it. Then you'd have Santiago and Earl Spence. Okay, then when it comes to Terence Crawford, this is what sucks for him. If he's not fighting Spence, if he's not fighting Canelo, Crawford has to fight Santiago. Y'all see what they're doing here? They're about to run Terence Crawford's ass up out the welterweight division. Because although I think he beat Santiago, Crawford will be up shit creek fighting Santiago. This could be Crawford Santiago could be like Adrian Broner against Maidana. You know what I'm saying? And Maidana against Adrian Broner, he was just coming at you. Non-stop punches, big shots, and Broner was trying to box, trying to counter. That's exactly what I see this being. If Crawford is forced to fight Santiago, because Santiago's for the WBO is ranked number 1. And Crawford in the WBC, you got Barrios, who no one knows what he's doing, but he could be fighting Barrios or Sissoko. And then for the WBA, you got Crawford, you got Amantis Stanionis, then you got Shakrem Giasov. And then at number 1 and number 2 is Radsad Butiev. So the bottom line is, Terence Crawford is in a spot or he's either going to fight somebody he doesn't want to fight to hold on to them titles, the 3 titles he does have at 147, or he's going to move up to 154 and, maybe try to exercise that clause for the WBO and maybe pick up the winner of Zoo and Thurman. Well, it'll have to be Zoo because Zoo will keep the title. So maybe he'll go up and fight Zoo. But the bottom line is, like we've talked about, in my opinion, for Terence Crawford, the best fight for him, if it's not Earl Spence, it's not Canelo, I think it's Tim Tszyu for money, for the payday. And if it's not Tim Tszyu, I mean, hopefully them Saudis can get involved. Maybe they can make him against Boots Ennis. But I don't know. But the problem is, look at what we're talking about. Like Terence Crawford there's no structure. He's just there. I'm sure there's names being thrown at him, but he's going through, and I said this in other videos, it's like when Zaire Rahim beat Eric Morales. The fame and fortune didn't follow. You would think that would have happened. It didn't follow. And for Terence Crawford, he made good money. The man's very comfortable. But goddamn, you telling me this man, he got to fight these guys when there's really no money there? It's horrible, man. That's why I did that YouTube short and I did that YouTube video saying Terence Crawford is just retired. And I've been saying that, and I'm going to keep saying that. If he can't get what he wants, man, just don't do it. Anyway, Terence Crawford, he recognized that, damn, I must be hated. And I blame Bob Arum. Bob Arum didn't have to shit on him the way he did. Talk about how he's hemorrhaging money. He could have bought a house in Calabasas with all the money he lost on Crawford. Bob Arum didn't have to do him like that. I'm in the breeze.